Hey guys, Reginald Duck here, back today with an updated Spright Melffy deck profile. I literally uploaded this video and then like 5 days later Spright Elf got banned, so back to the drawing board, completely new massive overhaul for the deck. Let's get into it. So for the Melffy package, I've actually took out one Melffy Wally because with it being searchable off your mainline combo, I didn't see the point in playing 3. I wanted to be able to fit an extra hand trap in because this format you need quite a few, or board breakers or both. So 2 Melffy Wally. This is the reason to play Spright Melffy. Basically, it's searchable off a rank 2 that's generic, and then in your end phase it summons itself. Now when your opponent summons or targets it for an attack, it returns to hand, summons 2 Melffys from deck. So this is absolutely broken. It's full combo on its own basically. So lots and lots of interactions. Got 2 copies of Melffy Puppy, and this one, when your opponent summons or targets it for an attack, you can return it to the hand to summon a level 2 or lower beast from deck. So it'll summon a guy that then destroys a card. So really good. Can summon other stuff, I mean generally that's what you want. Got 2 Melffy Catty. This one searches any beast monster, not level 2 or lower, just any beast. You could even search Alpha for example. So same again, runs away when they summon or when they target for an attack, and then just searches. So you can search for cards like Quick Synchro in your opponent's turn. Then you've got the Melffy Penny. This is a quick synchro similar to the Hop Air Squadron. So when it's in your hand, if you return a Melffy to hand this turn, summons itself then synchros using the other card in hand. So really, really good. Makes obviously like a level 4 like an Arclight or the actual Melffy level 4 synchro. Really, really good. That's it for the main deck Melffy monsters. Got 2 Kalantosa. You summon this off the Melffy Puppy. Just literally not once per turn. When it's summoned by the effect of a beast monster, destroy a card your opponent controls. So you can resolve this 2, sometimes even 3 times in your opponent's turn, which is really good. 1 copy of Hop Air Squadron, very similar to Melffy Penny. So this, you can also search it and then you just special summon it and then it quick synchros using usually one of these from your field. So you just make an Arclight, make a Melffy level 4 synchro, it's up to you. So that's it for the Melffys and the Beasts. Onto the Sprites. Got 3 copies of Spright Blue. This card is insane. It's the reason to play the deck. So basically, if you control a level 2, you can special summon this from hand, and then it searches another Spright monster. So just special summon it, search Spright Jet usually. So 3 copies. You can also summon it from the deck very easily. 3 copies of Spright Jet. When you control a level 2 or a rank 2, sorry. So this in blue, you can control a rank 2 and still summon. And then you can just search a Spright spell or trap. So either the starter, the double cross, or the smashers. That's the 3 you play. Again, really, really strong card. It's a free extender. It's a searcher that searches for another extender if you want the starter. So really good. 1 copy of Spright Red. Just again, free extender. You can summon it if you control a level 2 or a link 2. So these 2 are slightly different. So basically, if your opponent activates a monster effect, I contribute another level 2 or link or rank 2 I control to negate and destroy it. So, sorry, negate it, and if it's an extra monster, I can then destroy it. So really, really good card. Helps you play through Nibiru, play through any hand trap basically. So 1 copy. Got 1 carrot. It's what red is for spells and traps. So basically, tribute another one, negate the spell or trap. Really, really good. 3 copies of Nimble Beaver. This is the best starter in the deck. Basically, it is full combo on its own. Gets you everything you need because Nimble Angler is broken. So basically, you summon it. You can summon a Nimble from deck or graveyard. So don't forget about the graveyard effect. If you got beavers, left over somehow, you can always bring 1 back. 2 copies of Nimble Angler. Basically, when this is sent from deck to graveyard or hand to graveyard, you can summon 2 Nimble monsters from the deck. So you just grab 2 beaver, for example. So really, really good. And obviously they're all level 2. Got 3 copies of Kashtira Fenrir. Just a free extender because any level 2 plus a guy is full combo, or beaver on its own is full combo. So basically this is half a sprint is what it is. You summon it for free, search another Fenrir for the grind game, and then just make sprint. So really, really cool. Obviously, banishes stuff and whatever. Really, really good card, especially if you're going second into boards. And we're playing quite a few hand traps. Got 3 copies of Ash Blossom. I really like this card, this format. It's good against Cash because you can like Ash the Ashterial Theosis. You can obviously Ash Branded Fusion, which is really good. Especially against a lot of rogue decks, because especially at my locals the meta is never solved because people play random decks every week and Ash hits everything basically. And then we've got 3 copies of Nibiru. Really, really good against Cash if they're greedy. If they're not greedy, that's totally fine, means you have to play through less. So if they try and lock out 5 zones turn 1, they just lose to Nib, clears the entire board, they can't deal with it. If they play round Nib, usually the only thing you've got to deal with is an Arise Heart, so that's not too bad. So 3 copies. And then we've got 3 Spright Starter. Basically, hard ones per turn, summon a Sprite from deck and then take damage equal to its attack. So just a free extender, really good for like getting you back into the game. You can top deck this, you can obviously search it to make sure you're still in with your Spright engine, because sometimes you can just not have access to it without Elf, so you want to make sure you're searching this a lot more now. I used to always end on Smashers, now I tend to end on this or Double Cross, because you just want to be able to guarantee the Sprites for next turn and the turn after. 1 copy of Smashers. It's still very, very good. It's just that now I feel if you have no way to use Spright engine for turn 2, you can't justify ending on this, because then if they break your board you just can't get back into it, whereas usually you just go, okay, Elf, quick effects on blue. Now you've got to play for the blue rather than just summon Elf and win. So really good. Basically you can just banish a Spright from hand or grave to the Spright card, that is, to then just non-targeting banish one of your guys and one of their guys. So really, really good. Playing 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence, just another hand trap. Doesn't hit thrust, talents, whatever. Really good. It is awkward against trap tricks, and although the deck's not that good, the deck is very represented because it's really cheap and had a lot of good cards in it. So just try not to use it is what I'm going to say, because if you hit like trap trick Sarah, it's unaffected and then it triggers. So really good, just side it out against trap tricks. So then for the last card, we've got the Spright Double Cross. It's really good because it's sort of flexible. You can use it to steal your opponent's guy from field or graveyard. You can use it to reborn your own guy if you want access to your Spright engine again. So it's really good. You can either take one of their guys, attach it to your guy from field or grave. You can place it under your link zone that you control, or you can reborn your guy. So really, really good. Lots of flexibility. Just playing the 1 copy. So that's it for the main deck. And onto the extra deck. Got 1 copy of Melffy of the Forest. This is the main Melffy card you will always summon because it's a searcher. So you just make it as generic and then you detach 1, search for Melffy Wally, and then in your opponent's turn, when a Melffy returns to hand in a new chain, this can just negate a monster effect on field. So you could, something that's not activated yet, just blank it for the turn. Really, really good. It's the reason to play the deck, it's the reason it works. 1 copy of Joyous Melffys. This comes up a lot later in the combo. Basically, you can return it to the extra deck or another XYZ you control, then summon beast monsters of that, level 2 beast monsters from the graveyard up to the number of materials the card had. So for example, you could summon this, return it to hand, summon 2 of the beast guy that pops 2, and then it just pops 2 basically. Really good card. Can also make your Melffys attack directly, but it never comes up. 2 copies of Gigantic Spright. It just detaches 1, summons a level 2 from the deck. We're only playing the Spright cards that are good to summon from deck now. You could summon something else, but I mean, we're not playing Hyperia, we're not playing Wind Up Kit and anything like that. Just a really good consistency card. It does lock you into level 2s for the rest of the turn though, but it locks your opponent as well, so they can't Nibiru you. So 2 copies. We've doubled up on a lot of the cards because we don't want to get like Diablosis and just lose. So we're playing 2 copies. Well, they're actually 2 different cards, but they're functionally the same. I only have 1 of these. You could play 2 of this, 2 of this. This is slightly better. Basically, you just make Zeus with them. They both can't destroy a battle. This one does do effect damage as well, but generally you just make these crash into something and then make Zeus main phase 2. So really good. Got the one Soul Sweeper, just banishes stuff, and then if it's sent to grave it can return that thing to the deck. So just a way of out in awkward cards that you struggle to deal with. One Downed Magician. I wish I could play 2, I just couldn't find the space for it, but you can still make Zeus without the Downed, you know, if they did hit this for some reason. So you just place this on top of your guy to give you Zeus an extra material. That is literally it. 2 copies of Zeus, because they will always try and hit the Zeus with Diablosis. If you've got the Unicorn as well, that's fine, you know, it is what it is, but you want to just have 2 so they can't just rip one card and stop you from out on the board. So really good. Everyone knows what Zeus does, hopefully. Onto the links, we've got one Sprind. It's your combo starter. You can end on it if you want because it has a quick effect to bounce stuff, but I mean I never do. So just when it's link summoned, just send the Angler, get a load of extenders for free. 1 copy of IP. This is part of your end board, so you can just like make the Underworld Goddess in your opponent's turn. It gives you a link zone to like steal stuff with the Spright double cross. Really good. Lets you obviously link someone in your opponent's turn. Underworld Goddess, so you can steal one of your opponent's guys and then link off with another from their field. So really cool. Can negate graveyard summons and stuff. Really good card, and it's quite hard to out. They can only target it, which is weird, but it is what it is. 1 Spright Melffy. This card is broken, so when it's summoned you can return a monster your opponent controls to the hand, and then when your opponent summons, or if they target it for an attack, runs away to the extra deck and summons a different Melffy. So it summons out the one that then bounces stuff to summon from grave. So really good. Then lastly, 1 Herald of the Arclight. Not as good as it was because it was really strong against Tyr, but it's good just in general. It's an Omni Negate, it's obviously a mini Macrocosmos. Really good. So that's it for the extra. I am doing a side because the deck is a lot more competitive, so I see the need to play a side deck. I'll like show you how I've built it. So for the side deck, I'm playing 3 copies of Bestial Magnamort. I think the Bestials are still worth playing just in the side deck because obviously they do hit light and dark. So when this one's summoned, it just searches for another Bestial, and quick effect, if your opponent controls a monster, you can just banish their guy from grave, light or dark, to summon it. So really strong, just sort of interruption. 2 copies of Druisworm. I still really like this. I think Baldrake's good, but I think Druisworm is also really good. And these can also work as like your, in the same way Fenrir is half of a Sprind, so are these. So you can just like link this off, send something, and then summon Sprind. 3 copies of Artifact Lancia. I really like this card in the side deck. I was considering maining it, but I didn't know how much cash I would be facing. I'm already maining the Nibiru's, I'm already maining so much like stuff for it. So 3 Lancia I do really like. Just during your opponent's turn, prevents them from banishing, so they cannot full combo if you Lancia them. It just can't happen. So 3 copies. 3 copies of Book of Eclipse. I feel you have to play a lot of varied stuff for the cash matchup, because if you play, like for example Eclipse, they'll lock your back row. If you play something else, they'll lock your front row. So you want to play, or if you're playing Nibiru, then they'll just summon less. So I think you've got to play a big variety of stuff, and Lancia is always good, but Eclipse is also really good. If you just set the field, you can then start playing through it. Your zones are no longer locked. So that's 3 copies. 1 copy of Duster. Especially with like all the trap decks lately, like not Labyrinth, sorry, Traptrix is incredibly cheap. The deck is somewhat viable for £33 it was over here, so you just don't want to lose to a trap deck. So 1 Duster. 3 copies of Evenly is the only trap in the side. Again, just really don't want to just be grinding against these trap decks. You want a quick win, you just want to blow them out, because if you, this is good against, well, sometimes it's good against Traptrix, but you do need to, like for example, out the Sarah first, because you don't want to just give them free advantage. Sometimes it can still be worth Evenly in them, because if they've got loads of trap cards, and then at least you know what they've set and they can't use it that turn unless it's the new trap hole. So it's probably still worth playing against them, and it's still good against cash as well. So that's it for the side deck. So I'm very briefly going to go over the combo and what you end on now. So just off Beaver or off like, you know, any access to Sprint, so like a level 2 plus Fenrir for example. So we're going to normal summon the Beaver, and we're going to summon the Nimble Angler from deck. And then we're going to link summon these two. And then we're going to summon the Spright Sprint. And then Spright Sprint is going to send a second copy of Angler. Angler is going to summon 2 Beaver. We're then going to overlay these two for the Gigantic. Gigantic detach is going to summon Blue from deck. Blue is going to search Jet. Jet is going to summon. Jet is going to search the Double Cross. And then we're going to overlay these two for the Melffy of the Forest. Gonna link these two into the Masquerader. Gonna detach and search, and I'm gonna add the Melffy Wally. We're gonna set the Double Cross. So then what this gives us is, so end phase, summon this, and then we've got a lot of interactions here. So we've got access to our Spright engine. We can just summon this back if we need to, or we can steal one of their guys, or we can reborn one of their guys, or whatever we need. Or we can attach it to this, for example. So really good. We have obviously access to blue or whatever else we need. We have a Underworld Goddess, and then this is probably about 6 interactions on its own, because it summons 2 from deck and they summon more from deck and does loads of crazy stuff. So that's the basic combo I'm ending on. So please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.